Hi everybody. I'd like to introduce you to this tool available here at Bristol that will help you study anatomy and physiology. It's called Visible Body. When you log into eLearning, it'll bring you to this splash page, which you're familiar with already. On the right side, you have your courses. On your left side, you have information about what's new in your courses, what's been uploaded to eLearning. You probably have a space for announcements also. If you scroll down a bit, you'll see that there's a box on the left that says Visible Body. This is where the tool is located. We're going to click the link for anatomy and physiology. Now, if you do this on campus, then it'll take you directly to the tool. If you do this from home, however, you're going to have to enter your 900 student ID number first. This is the number that you use when you register for classes, when you go talk to your advisor, when you do business with the enrollment center, the financial aid area, or with the records and registrar's office. So you'll need that if you're logging in from home. Let's click Anatomy and Physiology. That will bring you to this page. If you scroll down, there's a link here that you can use to launch the tool. Before I do that, I just want to make sure that you realize that this tool is available in other languages. In case English is not your first language, you may find another language that is easier to do your A&P with. Here, we're going to click Anatomy and Physiology. You'll see that the tool is loading. Then it'll bring you to this splash page. And if we give it a little bit of time, it's going to take us to another page, this one. There'll be a menu on the left side. You can see that there are practice quizzes available for you here, and then there's a listing of the units that are available. So you'll see that, for example, you can do cells and tissues here, the integumentary system, the skeletal system, muscles and tissues, nervous system, so that's your A&P1. But there's also the endocrine system, circulatory system, lymphatic, respiratory, digestive, and urinary system, which you do in A&P2. So this tool is useful in both semesters of anatomy and physiology. For this particular example, we're going to go to the skeletal system and joints, and we're going to click the link for this topic. When we do that, it opens up another table of contents here, and we can see the topics that are related to the skeletal system and joints that are covered by this tool. If you look over here on the right, you can see that those same topics are mirrored. So here at the top, we've got an introduction, then we go to types of bones, and so on and so forth. We're going to click the link for joints. When I do that, all of the topics that are related to joints will populate on the right side of the screen. So if I click 12.1 joints, it's going to bring me to this page, which is an introduction to the joints. I can read what joints are here on the upper left, and then there are links that will show me the different types of joints in the human body. So for example, I can see my immovable joints by clicking this link. The bones that have immovable joints are highlighted in blue so that it's easier for me to see them. Also, if I click the model here on the right, I can make the highlighting for those immovable joints go away. If I click again, I can highlight specific bones that I want to look at. Now, as I click here on the right side on this model, notice that the header here changes. This tells me what the blue highlights on the model actually are. So, for example, here's the frontal bone. Here's a parietal bone. Here's a maxilla. Now let's say that I'm not sure how to pronounce those terms. Clicking the speaker button will get the software to pronounce it for me. Let's say I'm not sure what the bone actually is. By clicking this icon that looks like a book, there's an introduction that kind of describes what the bone is and describes the joints that are formed by that bone. Now, one other thing that's cool about this is if I use my pointer on the model, I can turn the model in any direction. It's a three-dimensional model, which means I can observe the bones in this case and the joints from any direction that I want to. The other thing that's kind of cool is that I can use tools to actually draw on the model. So let's say I wanted to highlight the nasal cavity here. I can draw a circle around that, and then I can add a note. I can title the note, and then I can write whatever I want here on the note. Then I can actually download that image to my computer, and if I'm taking notes using Microsoft Word, I can insert it into my notes. I can also print the image and paste it into my notes if I'm doing everything using manuscript, using my hands and a pencil or a pen. So I think that's really cool and useful. When I'm done modifying this image, I'm just going to click the done arrow like that. Now the other thing that's kind of cool is by using the right and left arrows at the bottom left side of your screen, you can scroll through the different topics that are under the heading of joints. Some of these topics may have a video like this one. So if I press this play button, a video plays. Now, you couldn't hear that because I'm using the free version of Screencast-O-Matic and it doesn't replay audio from my computer, but there's narration that goes with that video describing what you're looking at and explaining the topic, in this case of sutures, in great detail. Notice there's also a little description of what sutures are here as well. By clicking this arrow, I can actually get rid of that text on the left side of the screen, or I can bring it back if I want. Anytime I want to go back to the main menu, I just click this menu button here, and it takes me back where I was. So I think this is a really cool and useful tool. I don't remember whether I mentioned it already or not, but from this page you can also access practice quizzes, which will allow you to practice what you know and test yourself to see if you really understand human anatomy. There's also a checklist of things that you should be able to do as you move through the modules that are part of this software. So anyways, this is Visible Body. I think it's a really useful tool. It's helpful studying for your practicals. It's helpful as you study your anatomy and physiology, just in case you are having trouble remembering where certain structures are. You can review it here in 3 dimensions. You can make notes. I highly recommend this tool. We will be using it to help supplement the material that you're learning in the lab. I hope this video was useful to you. If you have any questions about Visible Body, you can ask me. I'll do my best to answer it. And I hope you have fun playing with the tool. I'll see you in class.